Hello, my Sagittarius risings. I hope you are doing beautifully. My name is Haley, otherwise known as Moon Girl, otherwise known as at my Moon Girl readings on Instagram. And if you came from Instagram, welcome. We have expanded our home onto YouTube. Feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any other surprise series and videos like this one. And if you are new here, welcome to the Moon Gang. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Today's video is going to be a 2026 year ahead. So you already know I pulled up 7 of the major transits that are happening next year for Sagittarius risings. I'm going to go into what this each transit's going to be completing in, what's going to start, what does this mean for you. Then, because every single chart is so nuanced, your rulers are different from my rulers, your degrees are different from my degrees, rightfully so, because you are just embodying the various different energies like everyone else in a different font. So because of that, I do like to get a more curated message for those of you who are specifically watching my videos. So this is going to be the Astro Dice, and we're going to roll these for a very specific message for you. Then last but not least, again with kind of chance and probability, I love to play around. Let's go ahead and choose a page from this book. It's a book that has 365 pages in it. I'm going to pull a random date from this book. I intend for this date to be a very important and special date for you in 2026. There's also messages of guidance. This is from another account on Instagram. I got this like 5 years ago, and since it's a year ahead, I thought it'd be fun to do that. So we're going to end the reading with some guidance. And before we go ahead and jump right in, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm wishing everybody a beautiful year 1, a beautiful fire horse. Some people are saying that this is a year 10. Nonetheless, this is going to be a really big year of new beginnings for everybody. So we're going to tune in and see for you what that looks like. So transit number 1, we have Jupiter is going to be exiting Cancer. Now for you, Sagittarius risings, you do have Cancer in your 8th house. So what is happening when Jupiter moves through our 8th house? Well, this could be a time of more introspection. When we have the 8th house, we have what's hidden from the rest of the world. We have what's hidden from others purposefully. And so when people have Jupiter in the 8th house natally, a lot of their wisdom is very strategic. It's something that curates solely for them. However, when they do share that with other people, it tends to be very, very deep, like emotional entanglement, financial entanglement, secrets kind of entanglement. This can be deep soulmates. This can be more taboo topics behind closed doors. And Scorpio does well there. Like Scorpio energy does very well there, figuring out the most strategic way for us to attain more power, for us to attain higher position, for us to navigate and weed out who we trust, for us to navigate and weed out who's really there for us, not just what we have to offer, just not what we bring to the table, but who's going to ride in our dark times, who's going to be there for us as we grow and change for the long run. And so this tends to be where we're opening our eyes, because Jupiter, because it's the Akashic records, it represents the Akashic records in astrology, which Sagittarius, you're all about this, right? And Sagittarians really take note of the past, the future, and they have the ability to change their perspective in the present moment to live the most abundant journey that they can in this lifetime, full of experience, full of experiences, full of abundance in all forms, optimism, strong faith system that makes us very powerful. So with that being said, our beliefs around intimacy could be really, really changing. They could have been changing from the second half of 2025 until the first half of 2026. This could be too, where especially if we, got married and we're sharing finances, that's something that's very, very intimate. That could be a theme. There also can be just sexual relationships. The eighth house does talk about that a lot. Either people that we kind of hide the dynamic or hide the connection even fully, like itself, until we're figuring out if we trust somebody. Perhaps, we have a great relationship on the outside. We like to keep it that way. We like to keep our privacy. There's an importance of privacy when we have Jupiter moving through the eighth house. And again, we're also keeping things private so that we really can, away from outside opinions, really understand what we want, what we truly desire, who we truly desire, and we're forming intimacy and forming trust. So it's kind of like the behind the scenes work of love, right? It's kind of like having sometimes tougher conversations or bearing our souls or things that just the world doesn't need to see. And we do step into more power from that place of within, right? Like the more that we sort out our cookies, so to say, get our ducks in a row from within, with our tight circle, with our partnerships, with our investments, like things we don't really want people putting their hands into. And the more that we're solid in that and we have a clear vision of what we want to reveal to the world and the power we do want to reveal, right? Like when it's time to speak up, speak up. When it's time to reemerge and shine, then we'll do that. But when we have Jupiter going through the eighth house, there typically is some very profound experiences with like trusting again, with loving again, with going deep, with, trusting people with our things, vice versa, them with us, and their secrets, their deepest, darkest feelings and thoughts, their ambitions, their dreams, right? And this can really be where we are creating a power couple sort of dynamic within this house too. So if you are manifesting a power couple dynamic, or you may be too, like if there's some bad habits to leave at the door when it comes to anything that's blocking us from true intimacy, that is going to be highlighted as well. The whole point is for us to have a deeper, intimate relationship with ourselves and those closest to us, and to understand the importance of privacy, to understand the importance of deep level commitment of who we commit to, what we give our time to. This is also strategically putting us in a position where, again, those behind the scenes things are ironed out. So we can, when we're on scene, come from a place of power, come from a strong foundation. Then this is also like really good for investments too. So if you've been wanting to invest to make more money strategically, work smarter, not harder, this is the house for that. So we could be getting some ideas for that. And so then we're going to have Jupiter moving through the ninth house as well. So once Jupiter switches, that's the second transit, Jupiter entering Leo. Jupiter is going to be going through your guys' ninth house. Now, I love this. I feel like this is kind of like the, it's always darkest before the dawn. Now, that's not to say that Jupiter going through the eighth house is going to be a dark time, because it does not indicate that. But again, this is like behind closed doors. Like it's very much behind the curtain. That is a good way to put it. Like this is the behind the curtain where we're getting the ducks in a row so that when the curtain lifts, all that was what was in the dark shall shine. All of that which was just behind the curtain is going to be able to come alive. And when we have Jupiter moving through the ninth house, I mean, obviously, whatever house we have Leo in is extremely powerful, the area of life where we're extremely powerful in. It tends to be the area of life, too, in which we had some sort of exposure to this early on in childhood. And so traveling, right? Traveling different cultures, being from or of different cultures, different backgrounds, different upbringing. So I tend to find that Sagittarius rising children tend to like go on cruises or like travel or work at a job where there's lots of different types of people that are coming in, like foreigners. I also find that they could date like interracially or go to school where they're just exposed to other cultures, and it really expands their minds. And so this could be a time too where our life is turning on a positive note. When we have Jupiter going through the ninth house is a very lucky house. Jupiter is very lucky as well. Now, is that to say it's going to be sunshine and rainbows the entire time? Nothing ever is, right? But this is pretty darn close to that. So I think this is a great stride. Our life is expanding past what we ever thought that it could. And also it's making a trine to your guys' first house. So this is like new experiences with wrapping up old cycles of who we used to be, of again how we used to what we used to accept in deep connections. When this is Cancer, this is also learning like emotional discernment, like things we may have not seen before, things we may have like put up with, or kind of like we didn't want people to see this. Maybe we were protecting people that you can only protect people for so long. And that is something too, where with our own self, of getting really intimate with ourselves. I mean, I do love that because, Sagittarius is very, very authentic. This is the path to authenticity, right? And so if something is off and we feel it in our private life, we're using our intuition to move forward. And by the summer of 2026, that is when the new journey starts. Now, of course, this is very much spiritually, this is very much new, right? So new people, new projects, new life path. When we have double fire, the Jupiter entering Leo, this is when we try new things, and it's making a trine to your Sagittarius rising. Fire loves to try new things. So you could be trying many different new things in your life. And there could be just some hidden, not even hidden, but like we may have felt like we were in this like more private energy, right? That tends to happen when we have like solar return suns in private houses, or natal suns in private houses, right? Like 4th, 8th, 12th. When we have transits and stuff like that, it is more about the areas of life that are a little bit more private, like our intimate relationships. 4th house is home life. 12th house is like our energetic body, right? So when we have Jupiter going from the 8th house to the 9th house, we could just feel like we want to step on the scene a little bit more. This is also rejuvenation of faith, getting very, very close to faith again, to God again, to whatever you believe in, your own self. This is like a faith in all of that, and a change in our beliefs, a solidification in our beliefs. So it's almost like what we went through in the 8th house. After that, we've transformed. We can't undo a phoenix moment, and we definitely had some experiences that brought us to phoenixing. And once we phoenix and we soar over that 9th house of like world travel and the journey, whether that's mental, emotional, spiritual, like there is this like flying. It could feel like we're flying a little bit, right? And we also may feel like we want to share, especially if we have like Mercury in the 9th house or like 3rd house transits. We could feel like we want to share part of our journey, right? Because Leo is the spotlight. So there could be some spotlight on our journey, right? Where it's like people may start to ask where you've been. People may start to ask, what happened, or you may just want to share your truth. Like this is sharing the truth on a grand scale. So like if you were going to some deeper experiences within your relationship life, no matter the outcome, it could just be like, this is what I learned on my journey. Like this expanded my mind. This put me on a new path, a new journey, a new me, and a little bit more enlightened after those experiences. So that's what I see there. Definitely a beautiful time for taking that lucky shot, like doing that thing that we want to publish that book, or we want to publish that song, or we want to kind of bounce our ideas off of people and get back in the social scene. Then we have Saturn entering Aries. It's the third transit. So Saturn's going to be in Aries for around 2 more years from now. So we have Saturn that is passing through your guys' 5th house, and I love this. So Saturn is the planet of sobriety. It's the planet of responsibility. It's the planet of seeing results. It's the planet of boundaries. So this is actually interesting to me because I have a feeling that a lot of Sagittarius risings are single, and like they may be getting to a point where like they really looked at like intimacy and like relationships, and they may be at a point where and of course this is not all, right, but it kind of makes sense. Even if like things are going beautifully in a relationship that is very, very strong, I feel like this is just a death and rebirth, kind of like in some little through like the catalyst of some events, some experiences, where Jupiter is like showcasing this. And like once our intuition turns on, then we like, you know, if we work past that, move through that, then we're on this new, very like higher, like our consciousness expanded. And when that happens, you break patterns, you react differently, you choose differently. So this is a blank slate within relationships, you know, but in a way where this really, it's not just the 7th house of like rearranging like some labels or some love languages or like how we're going to live our life. This was definitely deep things. Deep things where like certain patterns and behaviors just needed to stop for the enlightenment to come through, or just to see things. And then I feel like there is this energy of the universe protecting our ability to have pleasure again. So we could be relearning how to just have fun, how to take pleasure in things, to be sexy, like sensual, heart-led. Like this is performing, this is, you know, and when we have Saturn, it could feel like, okay, like, I really want to feel pleasure again. Like, how can I take responsibility of my life where I can allow for that to happen? Because we have Aries in the 5th house, right? So again, whatever house we have, Leo, Aries, like fire is so powerful, and it shines so bright. Like we are letting go of the drama. That is really much Saturn moving through the 5th house, like working through and weeding out who gives us drama, weeding out any like dating potentials that we don't see like going for the long term, right? Like this can definitely be like some karmic dating experiences, in the sense that and I don't want anyone to hear karmic and be like running for the hills, because karmic does not mean bad. It just means that it's neutral. It's just something we signed up for, something we were meant to experience. And when Saturn comes in, that's very much when, you know, that's kind of fate or karma, like readjusting the scales and like, all right, at this point, we're meant to meet this person. We're meant to have this experience because this is where we're growing. This is the focus. And so we're growing in pleasure. We're growing in creativity. We are, also, this could be like a huge reconnection to our own children, like really bonding with them, like coming back together, especially if we've been dealing with a lot of things. We maybe like want to be able to just feel more lighthearted and like we're doing a good job as a parent. Like that is very much like a weight being lifted off, where we're just able to connect with our children more, in the sense that our own inner child's being connected, activated, right? So it's like finding pleasure and joy in the little things again, and unapologetically expressing ourselves raw, right? Because we already like really solidified behind closed doors in the 8th house. Like we already did that. It's time to step out and be who we're gonna be. So that's what I see there. Also really good for putting the work in if you are a creative or you are an entrepreneur who does creative things. Really good for putting in the work to see some fruitful results with that. Then we have Neptune entering Aries as well. So Neptune moving through the 5th house is so fun too. This is definitely can be like a sweep me off my feet, like romance transit. It's just important that with the next couple years, it's important to note that we're going to be seeing people actually more clearly than we otherwise would if Neptune was just there by itself. Neptune is the planet of getting swept away. Like there's no boundaries with Neptune, not a one. There's not a boundary in sight. It rules over things in the non-physical. So it's like alternate realities, feelings, imagination, things that are boundless, right? And then we have Saturn, which is the king of boundaries. I mean, even like its symbol is just so like square and cut so purposefully and straight. But with Saturn moving through there, this is a good energy of being able to like dream again, have optimism, have hope, right? In humanity, in life again, in our own journey, in our own like biggest desires of what we want, like that coming back into the picture very clearly in a raw format. We want what we desire, and it's like what we daydream about. Like it's really I think like not connected to the ego, but even though it's in an ego house, it's like no, but at the same time I deserve this, I do want this. I think also with Saturn moving through the 5th house and Neptune there, this is a great energy actually, because there's just going to be you opening up again, but also seeing things very clearly and having a lot of fun and pleasure, but being able to decipher like what is just going to cause drama, what is not substantial, what is not appealing to us anymore, and really embrace when we do see it, this reinvigoration of hope, this reinvigoration of love, this reinvigoration of spiritual connections and, our own soul coming back alive, like coming back home to ourselves through fun, coming back home to ourselves through pleasure. And also this is a beautiful one for daydreaming about the life that we would want to live, like, and just being lighthearted and like actually like daydreaming about it is embodying it. And embodying it means that we are jumping timelines, right, too. So I wanted to mention that, and it's all going to be kind of through the sacral chakra. I definitely recommend if you are into Reiki or, work with the chakras, sacral chakra is going to be so big, and solar plexus as well. So I would say those would be the chakras that like are kind of the theme for this year, and one that you could work with. Then the next transit is going to be the nodes moving from Virgo and Pisces to Leo and Aquarius. So the nodes have been passing through your guys' 10th and 4th houses. So when that happens, and by the way, if you do have your midhaven in Virgo and your IC in Pisces, if you can go to astro.com, ephemeris, click on the 21st century, go to 2025, look at when the node with the dot, or it doesn't matter which node, you can look at both if you would like to. There's 2 different nodes on the columns. If you want to see where the nodes, what day the nodes crossed over your MC-IC axis, that is one of the most fated times in our life. Of course, this is not a personal reading, this is a general reading, or else I would go into that for every single one of you. But I would, if you can locate that date and find the date when the nodes were on your angles, that is one of the most fated times. It is like eclipse, your own personal eclipse season for your life, and that it has a lot to do with who's involved in our legacy, who we're taking with us, whatever happened is very telling for the future. So, yeah, and also redefining home. We could be living with these people. This can be also like at a time where career, like, you know how like career and family and relationships and goals, like, it's kind of like how they say like death comes in threes, but I think that like good things come in threes, like, or like things just fall together at the same time, just like things tend to feel like they're all falling apart at the same time. And typically that has to do with the angles, because the angular houses are the most important houses in astrology. That's why these are bolded. And so yeah, it could have felt like that a little bit, even if like it was a smaller event around this time. That was a very, very big catalyst as to taking note of what's for you and what may be leaving, and dynamics that appeared in previous lifetimes as well. So that being said, we could have been letting go of like overworking in our career, like definitely burnout with our career. We could have let go of that. We could have let go of being overly critical of ourselves too. That's like the shadow, because whenever South Node passes over a house is when we're letting go. And sometimes the 10th house connected to our masculine energy and our legacy can be just in Virgo. Virgo tends to be the perfectionist, tends to work a lot, capable of a lot. Therefore, they do tend to have the perfectionistic archetype. And but this is also a time, so we're letting things go there. Anything that doesn't fit into our legacy either shall be getting let go of. Anything that is not fitting to our legacy. So our legacy is like what we build, right? It's so much more than just who we end up with, our job. It is our purpose. On a deep, deep level. And we could go really deep into that. But essentially, it's just, what type of person do you want to be remembered for? What type of decisions did that person make? How did that person live their life? Who did that person choose to live their legacy by, or choose to have involved in their legacy? Breaking generational curses from the opposite side, right, of our career, and, you know, the names that we're associated with when we pass away, right? Like, that's the 10th house. For example, like if we pass away, who are the names that are going to be really connected to us? And how do those people represent us? We want to be in a respected position. We want to see what we're capable of with the 10th house, right? So letting go of anything holding us back from our biggest potential, letting go of anything holding us back, and like weeding out things that aren't fitting into the clear view of our legacy. And then we have the, and there also could be like past life experiences with our career, and like activating the gifts around our career and our legacy, like our actual true emotional fulfillment that we want with our legacy is being very highlighted. Like we know what that is. We have a clarity with that in Virgo. We're trusting our gut. And then the North Node moving through the 4th house is emotional fulfillment. Like, let's go towards where it's safe. Let's focus on our nervous system. Who's helping that? What is helping that? Like, and usually too with Pisces, it's, you know, opening up the gates where, you know, as we start to get really clear about what is not working anymore, in terms of building the legacy, we are allowing for flow. It's not that things may be very clear on the opposite end, because Pisces rules over the non-physical. So it's very much the way that you feel. It's very much based off of intuition. It's faith. It's believing without seeing, which is why it's the most mastered energy. It's all the 11 signs combined, Pisces. Pisces doesn't need to be all those other signs for it to understand that it's connected to everything. Sometimes you just have a knowing, and that's Pisces. A knowing that things cannot be so definite, things cannot be so clearly defined. However, through faith, through the journey, through a bigger reason, even just our own intuition, our own subconscious is guiding us towards safety, is guiding us towards a true family structure, is guiding us towards a better behind the scenes life for ourselves, one that is enriching, that is fulfilling. And this could also be something too where we may have gotten lucky with the alignment of this. Like maybe we're working from home now. Maybe we get to spend more time with our kids. Maybe we get to move somewhere where we really like. Maybe we are noticing like how the energy in our home was just not it. And now we are taking some measures to help the energy. And that's just like totally realigning our domestic life and our domestic bliss. So this is also just like divine endings emotionally for us, like emotional patterns we may have repeated. This is ending, right? Where we're gaining more of an enlightenment and more of a stillness instead of reacting. There's definitely a lot of wisdom that's being accumulated with how we want to go about life. As well. So that's the Virgo Pisces axis. That's what's been happening. Now it's going to move to the North Node going through your guys' third house and the South Node moving through your guys' ninth house. So on the note of traveling from the second transit, talk about the fifth transit, South Node in Leo, wherever you guys travel, Sagittarians, this is your homework. Comment any flag. By the way, if you made it to this part of the video, if you're hearing me right now, where you sitting pretty, if there is anywhere you've been drawn to, anywhere in which you want to travel, or dream destination, culture you're drawn to, drop the flag. I'd be very curious to see anywhere that you travel in 2026, the second half of 2026, the first half of 2027. And I would even say maybe for the full year of 2027, but for sure, second half of 2026, first half of 2027, those are places that you have been in previous lifetimes. You either studied that culture, you lived there, you studied abroad, you dated somebody or married in that country, something like that. There's a past life timeline with that country, with that culture. Thought I'd just say that. But this is the North Node in the third house, really breaking free mentally. Aquarius loves to break free, right? Which we really need that when we are a Sagittarius rising, because Sagittarius risings expand their consciousness past what they ever thought was possible. So it's like, I could say I would never do this, or I won't be caught doing that. And then that's like the mutable journey. It's like to become adaptable, to change, to, put an end to things and find the beauty in that and the power in that. And when we have the third house in Aquarius, we have a mental space and an intelligence that allows for us to break free from society's expectations, that allows for us to embrace our individualism, that we all are human and we all have an individual life that we are meant to individually live. No one does us better than we do us. So this is you doing you extremely well, especially mentally, especially in the words in which you tell yourself, the way in which you talk to others. Also, this could be a very, very brilliant placement for like inventing something, or like changing up your flow, changing up the style in which you express. So no matter what job you have, like this is an upgrade there as well. Like where, for example, if you're any sort of entrepreneur, content creator, athlete, star, right? Anything like that, our thought processes are strengthening. Our ability to try out different things, like finding better ways to do things, more efficient ways, coming up with new ways to do something, changing our flow. Let's say that, we've been writing the same type of content as an author for so long. Let's say that we have been making the same types of music or the same types of content. And we could have, if it's the same old, it's time for a change. It's time to pivot. It's time to reinvent. It's time to switch it up, to access not only more potential, but this is evolving like towards a version of us that's more aligned, a version of our voice that's more aligned. Like our mental is catching up with our own evolution, right? And so that is very cool as well. There also could be fated friendships that are coming in, and soul family members that are coming in as well. People who understand what we're about, understand where we're going. So it seems like there's this really big transition of like who you were versus who you're becoming, which I mentioned that at the beginning. That's like a collective transit, but it really seems like that for you guys, Sagittarius risings, because, you know, with who we're becoming, you're going to meet people along your path too, with Uranus moving through your 7th house. Expect the unexpected. Let's go ahead and talk about that. The 6th transit, Uranus entering Gemini. Uranus is going to be moving through your guys' 7th house, which means our lifestyle is going to change. Like this is very much at this point in time in 2026, when Uranus enters Gemini, all the things where it was like, never say never. Expect the unexpected within your relationship life. Expect the unexpected when it comes to the lifestyle which you want to live. It's like a reinvention of our mind. And this is like the kickoff. The North Node moving through the 3rd house, and you have Pluto within your 3rd house. So the whole mindset is changing for a very long time. And we're becoming very wise, very intelligent, like genius level of being able to live to our own truth, our own life, and live a life that reflects what we put our mind to mentally. And the mentality has already been shifting. Now this is going to be reapplied to relationships. So the people in our life too, this could be like expect the unexpected with, you know, hanging out with the same people. We could meet totally new people. People from the past could, like, you know, come in and be totally different people, but the people that are aligned for us at this point in time are going to be connected to us. So that's very, very exciting. Of course, it could insinuate major changes within who we are as partners. Like Uranus gives an upgrade, right? So this is an upgrade to our lifestyle. This is an upgrade to the type of partner we are. This is an upgrade towards our relationship life, right? Reinventing. And then it is opposing our identity house, right? That 1st house of self, of identity. So we may be dropping last names and renaming ourselves even. Like that's a 1st house thing, is like, you know, if a relationship ends and you change your name back to your original name, that is very significant, right? If you get married and you take that person's last name, that is very significant. The name is something that really matters in a birth chart too, like when you're born, numerology and things like that. It holds significant importance for karmic new beginnings in our life, right? It's one of those tangible symbols of a new identity. Of course, this could be even through not names, but changing our style, changing the way in which we show up, maybe showing up more, maybe showing up differently, maybe showing up less. Like it really depends what it is. But I do feel like there's going to be this unapologetic sense of self. And that is the kicker for, you know, like expect the unexpected when it comes to the relationship life, the lifestyle, the life in which you want to live. It's going to be an upgrade, and it's going to involve people in a lifestyle and yourself that is matching where you're going, that is evolving with you. And then that 5th house is really going to be like the believing in fun again, believing in pleasure again, putting ourselves out there, and Saturn, but having this ability to be very discerning at the same time and know our boundaries, know our limits. So we have fun, but it's going to be, we're going to be seeing some results from it if we do invest, right? And I just mean that by like, it's adding to our life. It's giving us will. Like that's really how you'll know too, is like when something brings you a lot of pleasure, and it's a good pleasure, and it's not like so hedonistic, it gives us the will to create, the will to live very, very unapologetically, to shine, to put ourselves out there, to be in a space of love. And then last but not least, we have Chiron entering Taurus. So I love this too because the sixth house really is the house of, our daily routines, of our relationship with productivity, right? That too. So the fact that Chiron's entering there and we've had like the Virgo placements, when it comes to productivity and romanticizing our life, I think we are going to be healing into more stability in our life. And that's going to show up. It's going to show up as our lifestyle changes. Like as these changes are happening, we are actively healing around self-worth, around stability, to live the life we know we deserve to live. Ooh, y'all hear that? Y'all are healing because we are entering a daily reality where we are actively choosing stability and the life in which we know we deserve to live. And we're taking things slower. I think we're healing going fast a lot and taking things slower. Now, if you have sixth house placements, like if you have Taurus placements and you're a Sagittarius rising, this is like rebuilding the structure in which we like default to, or rebuilding the self-worth, the self-security. And what's really beautiful is that I always say this in readings. If you've ever gotten a reading from me and you're watching, maybe I even said this in your reading, but I quote, it's a quote from Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it's such a fleeting memory in my mind, in my Cancer brain. But I do know that there is a conversation happening between two people in that movie, and one asks the other something along the lines of, why do people that we love hurt us? And the other person responds and says, we accept the love we think we deserve. And I always think of the house that we have Taurus in, and it's quite literally very much the life or the area of life in which it is imperative that in that area of life, whatever we tell ourselves is true, right? Whether we think we can do it or we can't is true. And we accept what we think we deserve. So when it comes to our daily reality, are we the person holding it down for everybody? Are we the person putting in love? Are we the person making life pleasurable, paying attention to the little things, keeping things stable, keeping the money good, stuff like that, which Taurus in the sixth house is really good at? Or are we overgiving? Or are we being too of service to another person and not enough ourselves? Things like that. And so there's a restructuring there where we are believing so much in what we deserve. And that's like the expansion of our beliefs with Jupiter moving through the ninth house where Leo is too, is like totally like believing that we are deserving of what our heart desires, right? And kind of removing anything that's like a fear, like basically slaying our fears so that we can actively, consciously choose our desires, which therefore defaults to the way our daily life and, making time for ourselves. I think that too, like this is going to be one of the things that's going to be very healing, is taking pleasure in life again. The good food, the good times with family, friends, good music, good vibes. Lots of plants, lots of sunlight, getting enough sunlight, spending time in nature, cooking whole foods, just a lot of hearty, pleasureful, this like massages, this is like pouring into luxurious experiences, things like that. Taurus has a wide range, right? It could be something as simple as hanging out with our like baby niece or nephew for like 20 minutes. Or it could be just like seeing the sunset on the way home. Like it's going to be very, very healing, but definitely I think it's going to be like our daily reality. The more that we spend it with like what we're really connected to, what brings us feels more stable, more full, that's going to be really, really healing. So that is on. I just saw 4414 when I said that. So yeah, that was a beautiful transit to leave off on. I feel like you guys had such a beautiful, like, I would say, like, arguably maybe like the most beautiful message with Chiron and Taurus for you guys. So I love that. That was beautiful. And then let's take our chance at fate. Let's take our chance at some probability here. And my spirit guides, Sag risings watching, spirit guides, please protect us as we roll these dice. And when I do ask for a very important message, maybe something, anything that I didn't talk about, anything that they should know in 2026, in their year ahead. Thank you. Ooh, we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of, so the Jupiter transits are very, very important for you. I would say those are going to be huge if you want to look into those deeper. I would definitely say Jupiter, but also you guys are Sagittarius rising. So this and the first house, this is a year about you guys. This is a year about karmic new beginnings, expanding, and having a lot of faith restored because of these karmic new beginnings for you guys. Because of this karmic new beginning, there's more faith in yourself. Like, I think you're like coming alive, like, I can do anything. Like, of course I can get anything I want. I can change my life. I can start in a new direction. I can reinvent myself. I can expand past what my brain, what my thoughts are telling me, what my future is, or what, you know, however they're viewing the situation. This is more faith. And then I also have Virgo, which Virgo is going with your gut. Go with your gut this year for sure, and pour into yourself. Very detailed, like pouring into yourself. Like, I would get the massages, I would get acupuncture, anything with like the physical body, tattoos, working out could make you feel amazing. Eating good foods can make you feel amazing. I would also say this is kind of giving me like a little bit of a Vesta vibe. So intuitively, I'm like, I would look up your Vesta and see if there's any of these transits that are going to be activating your Vesta. This is very much like keeping your spirit alive, coming back home to you, what's very sacred to you, and doing that and being dedicated to you on purpose. And that's where the power comes in. That's where the faith comes in, the optimism, the opportunities at work too. I think there's going to be new opportunities at work. And just overall more positive mindset, more, and again, sharing your story. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Last but not least, let's go ahead and find a page for you. Oh, that was like really quick. Okay. Ooh, April 24th. You guys got April 24th. And slow down your pace. Was that not the last transit that we talked about? Love in the universe, and I shake hands. You're running down your path, seeking your destination like you're trying to win a race. When there is no competition to see who can arrive first, rushing around in this manner is causing you to try to force the flow. Moving this hastily makes you miss the importance of what needs to be achieved in this very moment. Being present and aware in this moment is the best way to navigate the path, enabling you to evaluate when and where your next beneficial step is. Release the beliefs that you are not enough. There's no urgency. What's yours will always be yours. Your destination is for you whenever you arrive. Keep trusting that your slow, small steps will allow you to assimilate the best route with the most undiscovered treasures. And your guys' affirmation is, I am not in a rush to evolve into my potential. That was so on point with the whole reading. I really like that this is like a promise that like you can go slow, and by actually going slow, we're gonna know see the next beneficial step clearly. So it kind of reminds me of like you just want to get our feet like really situated before we take a next step. And then we really don't miss. Like it reminds me of like meditating before you do something. And studies have been proven that if you meditate before work, before a task, you make less mistakes. So it's kind of like find the Zen, or find whatever that you're feeling, that Taurus, right? Like if we're feeling really happy, really good, it's time to lean into that, but leaning into the present moment, right? And then the answers will come with where to go on our destination, which I love, which Uranus is changing up the destination a lot. You could get a lot of peeks into your future, especially if your ascendant is in the earlier degrees of Sagittarius, when Uranus is going to be in those early degrees of Gemini. This is definitely seeing insights into our future. So yeah, it's like paying attention to the present moment, and then all the pieces of the Akashic records kind of just line up, because we're listening, because we're seeing old cycles being wrapped up, what's being available to us. So I love that so much. I appreciate you, Sagittarius risings, for watching, for tuning into your 2026 year ahead. And other than that, I just want to say thank you so much, and just take care, take it easy, and I'll see you guys in a later video.